everyone. Welcome to Vermont Sun and Shade. So I wanted to share a really good article I found in Birds and Blooms with you about growing herbs. And first I want to share with you the containers, the basil that I started yesterday. Okay, so I'm just going to flip this. And so I moved them down here on they're in the kitchen where we get a really nice amount of sun. Now they survived beautifully. I really was worried about them because of course they have been refrigerated and these are store-bought basil stems, and I had looked everywhere for seeds for different herbs that I want to start. And I said, well, let me at least get started on the basil since I have them. And the little finches love the basil. So they also love sunflower. This is a little sunflower plant that you see here. And you see the petunias. And I want to show you too, the orchid is doing an amazing, check this out. This is like brand new, this part here. It's almost like it's, wants to get ready to bloom again. And so anyway, so the basil, according to the information and research I did, said, put them in water and then just put them in the sun. So this is where I'm keeping them. Now, it got really cold here last night. So, the first thing I did before the evening, after the sunset, is I took all the plants off of the windowsill because they would get really cold there. And so here's little Mashuki and Umi today at their window. And today's a little bit better for them, just because we have the heat on and distributing nicely through the house. So I want to, here, I'll put the camera on them so you can see it. I'm just going to tell you a little, just give you a little tip, because, in whatever house you're in, okay, every house has drafts. It has areas of the house that might be a little colder than others. And my research was, I've learned from research, and some of these things you already know, but I learned from research. Hi, everyone. Hi, Mark and Ligomin Key, and I can't read the top one, but hi. Thanks for being here, guys. Thank you. But yeah, so the finches, they can get cold very fast. So Skylar, thank you, Skylar, for being here. I hope everyone's having a great day. So the thing about the temperature is they are a hardy little bird, but if it drops like suddenly on them, let's say this is the one thing I worry about, is that if the temperature drops while I'm gone, I always worry about that. So there's a couple little backup plans that you can do. Okay, and research has it, of course, keep your eye out for the temperature and the climate and all of that's going on. But there are unforeseen things that happen. For example, we happened to lose heat last night, a few of us here. And they got it right back on. They're amazing here. They got it right back on. But the thing of it is, it did drop for a number of hours, okay? So during that time, it did get cold. Now, having had a pet before, I had my little dog, and she was tiny little dog, so she was sensitive also to temperatures. So I had to have an efficiency heater, and it's very safe. and contained, and will go on and off with a temperature setting. So I was able to pull that out very easily and put that on. And then I also moved their location so that they could get that heat easily, and they were totally fine. Now, I also, you can see this cover here, right here. It's a thrift shop quilt, and I keep a quilt on them because first of all, it gives them a sense of security and safety, but then also at night, if it does get a little drafty or cold. So most of the cage is covered, and just a very little part of the cage, there's a very, very dim, but there is definitely light. If they want the light, they can hop into, like, they can get themselves in front of the cage and get into the light. And the reason that's important is I've read in a number of sites that many, many birds get what they call night frights. And I really didn't understand what that was. I'm like, oh my God, are they having a dream or what's going on with these birds? Basically, all that it is, it's very simple, but it's very serious, is they can't see. You know, they're not like an owl or like a cat, so they can't see at night. So you definitely, like, I know for me, like I tested it out with me. If it's pitch dark in my room, it's very difficult for me to get from the bed to the door if it's pitch dark. If I have a little light, dim light, right, even outside the door, I'm totally fine. So this is what I did for the birds. I just make sure there's a little night light right outside their little cage. And so if they need to navigate down to the water, or they need to navigate to a perch or whatever, they have the light. So, and that will cut away from their night frights. So those are the couple things I've learned. Now, the other thing, as you know, is I've been doing a little research on on growing herbs, because I want to grow herbs for my little finches. So I was just had a site here, and I got a little distracted because I saw that the Orvis stores are all closing, not all, like 36 of them, I guess. So I was looking, and I did have a site here, what herbs can I grow for finches? And I pretty much know the answer to that. But while I was researching it, I found what they call Finch Forum. So that is, I'm going to I'm going to take the camera off the birds and oh, that doesn't even come up, that one. Finch Forum does not come up. Okay, that's all right. So that's odd. So this one comes up though. Birds and Blooms, which I was going to cover anyway, but I'll put this in again, and I do have an answer because I found it on AI. Yeah, here we go. So I'll put the camera, I guess I could leave the camera on them. I guess it doesn't matter. I'll leave the camera on the finches for those of you who like to watch them. And I'll read here, and then we'll go to the article about growing the herbs, because I really want to share that with you. It's a pretty cool article. So the different herbs that the finches can eat, and I'll just tell you my experience with them too as we go along for the ones I've given them, is basil. Basil is a common culinary herb, so most of us use it anyway, right, in cooking. So they were surprised at the taste of basil because I think they thought it was spinach, which they love. But they ate the basil and they loved it. So basil is on my list, and so is spinach. So another herb is chamomile, which I'm surprised because that is a tea. It is a tea, and they're saying, though, that it's actually the flowers are known for their calming effects and can be offered as a tea or eaten fresh. This is for finches. Some excellent herbs to grow at home for pet finches. Yeah, I'm a little surprised with chamomile. So the next one is cilantro. Hi Joshua and Jeffrey. Hi guys. How are you today? Nice day, huh? We're gonna get a nor'easter up here in New England. So coriander. So this plant is edible. Both the leaves and seeds are a great source of vitamins and antioxidants. So as many of you know, the birds get 50% of their nutrition from fresh foods. Okay, let's see. I think little Umi is up. Let's see if she's up there. Oh no, she's sitting down inside her little, on the bottom, right, yeah, there she is. She's sitting at her bird bath. Anyway, the next one is mint, and that is something also I'm going to grow. It's a refreshing taste, and it's also, I guess they can digest it well, and some birds even enjoy bathing in the water with mint leaves. That explains that, because guess what they did yesterday? They put their basil leaves in their bath water. So that's probably like maybe they thought it was a mint or something. These birds are so intelligent. I am really, just knocks my socks off. I did not know they seriously remind me of the tiny little super intelligent birds in the Jurassic Park movie. They're really smart. They move things around in that cage all day long. So another herb finches can have is oregano, and it's a natural antibacterial, and it can help boost your bird's immune system. Another one is parsley and rosemary, and so yeah, I'm definitely going to grow the rosemary, right? And thyme. So this herb has an antibacterial in it also, and it helps with respiratory and digestive issues. So that's really important. These guys are so tiny that if you can give them anything to help boost their little systems, I think that's wonderful. So those are the herbs. So I'm going to, oh, and then it just says down here, observe your finches. Pay attention to which herbs they enjoy. Some birds can be picky and other preferences, and it can vary. See how the male, that's the male, he's talking to the female. He's a little bit bigger than she is, and he has a little more white and some speckles on his chest area. That's little Umi. Umi and Mashuki. And he just went down. And that's the little female up in the top. Okay, so this is the article I got. And I have another one to share with you later. But I'll put this over here so you can see. Okay, now, a lot of people are living in apartments nowadays. They're teaming up with people and living with other people, and cannot have gardens. I personally miss having a garden, but you can have an herb garden or a little garden in a container in a very small space. But Birds and Blooms talks about the perks of an herb container garden. And it basically says at the beginning of it, you can have it in your kitchen. You can have it, on the patio. Keep them in a window. But they say, in fact, it's easier to grow the herbs in pots than in the ground, because you get more control of the herbs that way. And they say here, what I love about a container gardening with herbs is that you can put them anywhere. So we were just talking about that, right? On the balcony, patio, windowsill, tuck it in a corner. She also notes that the pots just outside the kitchen offer an easy access to herbs, of course, right? While you're cooking. So look, they give a nice little graphic, which I love, because yeah, and they label the herbs. I've seen little container sets with and labels with the herbs labeled. So and then she says, only select the herbs that you want to cook with. So in our case, we're selecting herbs that we want to grow for our pet finches. Oh, and we can also, yes, you know how much money we're going to save? I was adding this up. If you really want herbs, and I do as part of my diet, which I never buy them because they're expensive, but for a full year and plus feeding your birds, it's probably you're saving $1,000. No, seriously, these can get expensive. So only select the ones that you want. Grow what you love, and if you don't use sage, you're not going to want to take up the space. They're just giving an example. Because some herbs, such as sage, lavender, rosemary, thyme, tend to germinate slowly. So purchase seedling plants from your local nursery. She suggests that. So guess what? I couldn't find any of these because I just apparently missed the season. But that's okay. I didn't plan to get these birds until spring, but because they said they weren't going to have any for 3 or 4 months, and lo and behold, there they were. So that's why I'm a little off on the timing. For herbs that are easy to grow, such as chives, basil, and parsley, you can start with seeds, but I like the instant gratification of a plant. Well, I'm starting with leaves. So hopefully they'll take. I'll let you know. So some herbs that are best for beginners are basil, chives, cilantro, dill, lemon balm. Oh, the lemon balm sounds fun too. Mint, oregano, parsley, sage, and thyme. So pretty much all of the same, except for the lemon balm. And the dill was on there also on that other list. And there were many others actually on that list, I believe, or some others. So find the perfect container for your herbs. And when picking a container, you have a few options. Choose a vessel that fits the style of your garden or your home, and just make sure there's enough drainage holes at the bottom. Okay, so they do have to drain. I think most plants do. There may be a few that don't. I love to put herbs in terracotta, but you can use glazed pots, full galvanized metal, or even plastic. You can also use fabric containers, which come in several sizes. That is interesting to me. No, fabric planters, which come in several sizes. I don't know. Do you know what I'm not, you know what? I'm just gonna fabric planters. So this is what they are. Oh, check this out. This is a geopot fabric planter. Tan square bottom with handles. It's $12. Fabric planting grow bot. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know about you, but this is new to me. I usually use terracotta or, a vessel of some kind, but I'm not familiar with these garden fabric pots, to be honest. I kind of like to just see a few more. Let's see what they got out there. Oh my, look at this. Vintage fabric planter basket. So they're actually putting the dirt in there. Okay, they're lined. They're lined with plastic. These are really cutesy for inside the house, okay? So that's an idea, guys. That's a really good idea. That's what I love about the articles. You just learn things. So find out how to grow a vertical herb garden in a shoe organizer. Okay. So that looks like another article. So we'll continue with this one for now. Plant herbs in good soil. Start with a really good quality potting soil because it's well draining and nutritious. Says Sue, who prefers organic potting and occasional dose of liquid fertilizer. You're going to be careful with the fertilizer. I had fertilizer once. Too much will hurt the plant. Garden, because it's like acid or something. I don't know. Garden soil compacts too quickly in the pots, which reduces soil damage. Okay. Add sun and water. That's the best part, right? Most herbs need 6 to 8 hours of full sun. So read the plant label or seed packet carefully. Now up here in the Northeast Kingdom, we're going to get remnants of that New England nor'easter, the nor'easter coming up. So it's going to be dark. And when it gets really dark, and it does when it rains here, it's just like nighttime. I'll just put like the kitchen light on where the plants are at the windowsill so they can get some light. And I'll put that on for several hours and then I'll put it off. Okay, so the real bonus of containers is that there's a part in the garden that's shady. You can scoot the planter off the patio and into more sun. Oh yeah, so she's just saying, yeah, basically because it's in a little container, you can move it around. So Sue also says that gardeners should only water their herbs when the soil is dry. So poke a finger in about an inch into the soil and just see if it's moist. And these plant waterers make caring for the herbs a lot easier. So your plant's moisture needs depend on the kind of pot. For example, clay terracotta pots dry out way faster, so you need to probably water every day. While plastic ones don't lose water as fast, so maybe every couple of days. I was not aware of that, but it makes absolutely perfect sense. The terracotta would absorb moisture also along with the plant absorbing the moisture. And plastic, of course, resists the water, so it holds it. Once you get into the watering rhythm, it will be no time for your first harvest. So how to harvest from the containers. I'm really excited about this. I want to get those fabric containers. I mean, seriously, maybe I'll make some. I'll make some because I'm an artist. I'm a fabric artist. I should be able to do it. Let's see. So frequent harvesting promotes fresh growth. Use your fingers to pinch off sprigs of chives. So she's saying use your fingers, not a knife or scissors. You see what she's saying? To pinch off the sprigs of the chives, parsley, cilantro, or basil. Herb snips work for basil, parsley, and dill, and for woody herbs such as oregano or thyme. For the large clumps of herbs, then use pruning shears. Okay, harvest foliage herbs such as oregano or basil before they flower. Okay, so that's when you're going to be snipping off the leaves or using a stem of a bunch of leaves of your oregano and or basil. Clipping them in the morning when they have the most flavor. Okay, excellent article. Let's see, anything else? No. So, yeah, I just take a look again at this fabric planters. Look at this, guys. This is aesthetically just a lovely. Who is that by? Lily Eden. Wow. So those are lovely. And this you fold it out. That must be a reason. It's not giving me the. I'm trying to get. Here we go. Sorry. Nope, it's not giving me my picture here. Oh, take that down. No. Okay. So anyway, let's see. We'll get another one here. I guess we get half the picture now. I don't know why this is not moving. Oh, it just goes so far. Okay. Anyway, that's by Lily Eden. So, okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I want to just kind of bring you along on this journey. So the other thing I'm thinking, and I did a little research on, I wanted to know if these birds, if the finches can eat dried basil or dried spinach or the dried herbs. So over time, those dried herbs will lose nutrition, but guess what? They can. Of course, they're going to enjoy the fresh much more, and that's why I'm growing the fresh. But I am thinking of drying some really big jars of them, and you know what I mean? And then mix it in sometimes with their seeds. Just saying. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that when you grow your herbs, a lot of different things that you can do. So I'm going to be talking to, I'm going to research a little bit and talk to my son a little bit about these vertical gardens. There's also something called hydroponic, and I don't believe at all at my level that I am ready for a hydroponic garden. I mean, I just would like to get oriented really well to the dirt and water garden. But I definitely, these beautiful finches can just eat so many different herbs and they enjoy them. Now, the other thing I wanted to share with you is that I was talking to you in another video about eggs and the finches eating an egg recipe. So I went and got some eggs and I boiled an egg. So what you do is you boil the egg, so the shell and the egg, like the egg, you just mesh it up, you know, so it's nice and really tiny little pieces and crunch up, break up the little shell. And because I was curious, why are they giving these birds eggs? But it boosts their protein level, okay? And that helps their immune system and their stress. So I am impressed with all of that. So yeah, so I boiled an egg, and when I chopped it all up and I put a little piece of parsley sprig on the side. It was like a little gourmet, from a little gourmet restaurant in a little place. They loved it. They loved it. So I noticed the female, a little Mashuki, eating the egg, like a lot of it. And Umi was kind of just sitting to the side and watching her, and just letting her have her time. But so this morning, I gave them a little bit more egg and with a little bit more shell crushed up. So anyway, you can take the egg and you can mix it. There's a recipe that says mix it with just like a tablespoon of the brown rice and a little bit of millet and a little bit of seeds and veggies and like that. You can mix it all up, right, with the egg, and they love it. So I wanted to share that with you. And I'll just share it with you when I introduce new things, the reaction. So far, they've really loved everything. But the one thing I thought that they would love is melon. And they haven't, cantaloupe, and they haven't really gotten, like, they haven't really eaten that yet. Like, so what I'm going to do, I've been chopping it up. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to mesh it up a little bit. So, because just maybe, because they're very tiny, maybe they're just not pecking it enough to get the flavor. So anyway, with that, I thought I would share today with you. And I hope that helps you with your inspiration for growing herbs along with me. And I'll let you know how these basil leaves are doing. Personally, I think they're doing well because I noticed a bunch of air. Almost, I don't, this sounds weird, almost like they were breathing. I mean, I didn't see them moving, right? I'm just saying there were air bubbles. It could just be because they were in the refrigerator. I don't know. But anyway, it seems like they're taking to the water. So we'll see. They certainly haven't died. That's a good thing. So, but hopefully they will root. In the meantime, I'm on the search for seeds. If you know where I can find any, please let me know. The Agway and Walmart up here do not have any at all because they're out of season, I guess. But I just find that like they're truly not out of season because you can grow them in your house. So, but anyway, so everyone, you just have a wonderful, beautiful day. And I'll see you in the next one. Love and light.